Welcome back to the Meeting Underground. Today's guest is East Nashville artist and songwriter Kyle Numann. Today we discuss his graphic art skills, his background in music, and his work as the frontman for the art folk band Cloudmouth. Thank you for joining us, and here's the interview. First time I ever saw you, I saw you in Crack Mammoth.
Oh yeah.
You and you guys were playing. You're like in that band too.
Yeah.
So tell me something about that.
I play bass in Crack Mammoth. It's a project with a friend of mine, Justin Goldman, who writes really amazing songs. He's been writing these songs and playing them by himself at open mics and at solo shows for years. And after a couple of false starts trying to get his solo music into a band form, we finally got up and running in our current incarnation.
Yeah. I met Justin a couple of years ago. He joined me on we did a flea market, a farmer's market. We did a farmer's market under a tent, and he joined me and we played together. So that's the first time I met him. He's
cool.
I like Justin a lot. He's a really nice guy.
His songs are great. His energy is amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your graphic art.
Okay.
Kyle is a great graphic artist. That's the second thing that I found out about him. Second time I came in touch with this man, Kyle, was I saw his graphic art, and he's a really, really good graphic artist. As we're talking, we'll show you some of the stuff he's done. So how'd you get into graphic art, and when did you start that? Or the art?
The art has always kind of been an instinct of mine. You know, scribbling as a kid, and as I got older, painting more. At some point I got into computer graphics and computer design and web programming, and when I kind of circled back to art, I started to create art in a way that could be computerized a little easier. So I moved more to this style of black and white pen illustration that I could then take and colorize. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. So do you do that? What is your day job? Do you do art as a
little bit. I work as a...
Ryan was telling me about you. Ask him about his job.
Yeah, I work as a web developer and graphic designer for a place called Golden Spiral.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it's a B2B technology marketing company.
Yeah. So
we make websites, make graphics and things for people.
Yeah.
It's got enough of the creativity there while still being, good paying
employment.
job.
Yeah, that's great. So let's go back to the beginning, or to your beginnings. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Burlington, Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah.
Was anybody in your family? You have brothers and sisters?
I have one sister, a year older than me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Was anybody in your family, your parents, or anything into music or art, or were they?
My dad was a blues musician. Still is a blues musician.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, you
right
guys
up
have
my
to get
alley.
together. Yeah.
I love that. That's cool.
He's played guitar. He was traveling in bands the whole time I was growing up, and we would go out and see him play various shows.
Yeah. Played
a lot of blues and R&B stuff.
What was that your early influences of what you got you involved or got you liking it? Or?
Sort of. I actually, I don't know, consciously or subconsciously, I resisted the musical urge for a while. It wasn't until I was almost 20 that I really started playing. But he had encouraged me anytime I showed interest.
Right.
And kept giving me little things to play with. And at some point he gave me an electric guitar and a multi-effects pedal and a pair of headphones. And I just kind of went to town on that, and you don't need a lot of skill to make a reverb pedal sound fun.
Yeah, that's great.
So that got me into it.
So who, as a musician, who is your influences? Who are you, people that inspire you or that kind of, that sparked that in you?
Yeah. A lot of outside of the box stuff, as much as I can find. Things like when I was growing up, bands like Radiohead, 9 Inch Nails, I was really into as a kid. The darker side of things, a little bit more experimental, maybe a little noisy.
Yeah.
I found Neutral Milk Hotel when I was in my early 20s and became infatuated with that. The lyrical content, similar to guys like Tom Waits, The lyrical content is just amazing, and when the songs are good enough to match it, that's my sweet spot.
So that when you're writing and the things that you put out with Cloudmouth now,
yeah,
is lyric the most important part to you, or is it all of it?
The lyric really definitely takes the longest.
Yeah.
To complete.
What's the most important, or is it the whole project?
I want to say it's the whole project. I want that to be
Yeah,
the truth. But in reality, I focus on the lyrics more because I always just want them to be a step better.
Right. I really like your lyrics.
Thank you.
We will not act like my dog is in the other room enjoying himself. But so when did you meet Amaretta?
I met Amaretta when I first moved to Nashville, because she gave me my first job in Nashville at Cafe Coco. I came to Nashville because a friend had moved here and just highly recommended it for arts and music and good people.
Yeah.
And so I moved here, and through my friend and Amaretta, I got a job working at Cafe Coco.
Yeah.
A 24-hour cafe, which is kind of a gestation spot for all kinds of
Now, so when
people.
So when you, how long? What point did you and Amaretta decide to do Cloudmouth?
Fairly recently, in the span of me knowing her over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It was only 3.5 years ago that we started playing together. She was staying with my wife and I in a spare room, and she was listening to me practice one day and just popped her head in the room and asked if she could sit in on the drums. And it's just kind of snowballed from there.
I'm looking forward to in a few weeks from now we're going to have her over, and I just want to talk to her about her influences and her passion and things that she's really
she's been going for a while. She's been in a lot of different projects.
That's what she said. Yeah. So when you started Cloudmouth and that stuff, that was how long ago?
I was 3.5, 4 years ago.
Okay. You did a single, Little House?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a single off of our first album.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Thank you.
I like it.
Thank you.
And then you put out a record, the Drunk record. What's the title?
Drunk on What I Am.
Yeah, that's great. And I was listening to that this afternoon. That's really, really good.
Thank you.
So we're going to have you back in a few weeks and focus some more on some of the Cloudmouth stuff.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say? What about someone that's younger than you, someone that's starting out in art and starting out whatever form of it? What would you say to encourage them, or what kind of things would you say to someone younger?
You know, you hear it a lot, but I think you hear it because it's true, which is the most important thing you can do is just to make stuff. Make stuff as much as you can, whether it's good or bad. You know, it's going to start out bad, and if you're unfortunate enough to have the insight into how bad it is, it's going to be painful for a while. But the best thing you can do is just make things, and you'll learn along the way.
What kind of do you have? What kind of tell me something about your process of songwriting things.
It usually starts out with a little idea, you know, whether it's a little riff on the guitar or a little verse that comes to mind, and I'll usually jot it down as a voice memo on my phone. That's the best way for me to kind of latch on to that idea.
Right.
Otherwise,
I do that too.
It'll be gone.
I have Evernotes, and I have a phone that I use my notes.
Yeah.
I try to. I've mentioned this a lot on the shows. Like, I really try to not let things go, because I've spent a lot of years losing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't pay attention, if you don't really stay on it, and you have to be ready for it, and you have to be ready to grab it, because boy, I tell you, I've had ideas that I thought this is great, and I forget them, and a couple hours later, I can't remember exactly what it was.
Absolutely.
It just happens, you know.
Absolutely.
It's really interesting. The whole thing of creating art and the whole thing is just very interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's very spiritual. It's like something about, you know, connecting with something that's different, you know. It's like inspiration and following it and working with it and stuff like
You have to sort of let go of your logical brain.
Yep. Put this to sleep. In fact, I know. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, it comes back later in the process.
So you're going to perform an acoustic unplugged version of what song?
Yeah, I'm going to do The Whole Damn Thing.
The Whole Damn Thing.
The Whole Damn Thing.
When I was listening to their record Dark Energy, which is the album that Cloudmouth has out right now, that was one of the first songs I said, I like that one. I put a little star next to it and I asked him about it. You're going to perform that for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you having you here.
Thank you
for
We're going
to have him back in a couple of weeks. We're going to talk more directly about Cloudmouth. But we really appreciate you being here, and we want you to know that whether you're watching us as a vidcast or whether you're watching us as listening to us as a podcast, on both of those posts you'll find a link to the other. So whether you're watching it, whether you're listening to it, we just really appreciate you connecting with us. And we thank you for joining us here on the Meeting Underground. And we're going to close this show out with a performance with Kyle doing his song. Thank you.
When you live, when you die, you give and you give 1,000 times. Takes a toll on all of us, on all of us, on all of us. When you love, when you fight, lips to lips, and eye for an eye, you keep the kiss of blindness, but it belongs to all of us, to all of us, to all of us. When you die, you give and you give 1,000 times, and all